Hey friends, it's time to take what we learned in the last video and applying it to building a rocket for ourselves. Remember, we're acting as researchers and rocket scientists with the goal of building the highest flying rocket that we can. Check out this quick time lapse and some of these upcoming tips to see what this project entails. Here are some of the materials you're going to be working with. It's nothing crazy, but we do give you enough to make multiple rockets. Step number 1 is to choose which color paper you want your body of your rocket to be made out of, which is also called the fuselage. Grab that piece and grab a PVC pipe and roll it up so it's nice and snug. Use the strategy of rolling your hands back and forth to tighten it, but you want to make sure it's still able to slide on and off. If you're smart, what you want to do is have one of these cool pieces of duct tape ready, and when you have your shape, go ahead and fasten it down using that piece. Double check to make sure it's still a good fit, and once you make sure that it is, grab some more pieces of duct tape and seal off the rest of the fuselage. We recommend going right up to the edge, but we don't suggest rolling the tape over into the inside of the rocket. Looks like it's all sealed off, and this rocket is off to a great start. But can you pause this video and think, using common sense and what you now know about air resistance, why is this fit so important? Why can't the rocket be too tight or too loose when it comes to liftoff? If you said anything along the lines of, hey, if it's too loose, then the air that's powering our rocket would escape. Or if it's too tight, then the friction between the PVC pipe and the rocket would be way too much for our air pressure to overcome. Then you'd be exactly right. A nice balance of your rocket being snug, but still able to launch easily is key for a successful flight, as pictured here. Now let's talk fins, friends. And just to let you know, there's no wrong answer here. You could make triangular fins, round fins, big fins, or little fins. It's up to you, but we do recommend staying between 2 and 4 fins that are of course evenly spaced. You could experiment with different fin placements, but we do recommend staying towards the bottom or lower half of your rocket. And that folded paper technique you saw is an interesting strategy, because if you cut a piece that's folded over itself, it's going to end up giving you 2 identical shapes to use as wings. What we actually want to do in this case is make 4 fins, so we took that same folded paper, traced our old fins so they were the same size, and went ahead and cut them out, hence giving us 2 more. By the way, feel free to use any hot glue if you have it ready and available for any attachments on your rocket. But here, we're going to use the duct tape, and you need 2 small pieces for each fin you're attaching. Take that piece of tape and place it half on, half off your fin, and that second half is going to be the part that attaches to your rocket's body. Remember, we're definitely favoring the lower half of the rocket, so it provides stability in flight. And here's how we do the other side of the fin. Our goal is to have the fin stick straight out or perpendicular from the rocket's body, and we do this by folding down the fin, placing a piece of tape halfway on, stretching it back, and then attaching that second half of the tape to the rocket's body. Let's go ahead and do it 3 more times to get those 4 fins we set out for. To add to the list of things to keep in mind, remember to try to keep your fins as aligned as possible. Once you do decide where you want one located, try your best to do the same with the others. And once your fins are all in a spot you're comfortable with, this will only help during the launch. Now let's visit the nose of your rocket, which is another area you have some design freedom in. We would love to see some creativity here, as long as you're not putting in an unaerodynamic shape like a cube or a box up there. In this video, we're going to be using a ping pong ball or a round nose for our rocket, which is a great option. All you're going to need is the included ping pong ball and some long pieces of tape to really secure it to the body of your rocket and make sure no air escapes from the top. Once you have those pieces of tape securing the nose to the rocket and preventing any leaks, go ahead and give it some nice tight squeezes just to be sure and to give it a nice mold. If you want to experiment with a cone-shaped nose, we have a great strategy to pass along. Step number 1 is you're going to want to tape a perfect circle around your roll of duct tape onto one of your pieces of cardstock. Go ahead and cut out that perfect circle, and also cut out a 1/4 slice of it, making it almost look like Pac-Man. The reason we have you make that Pac-Man shape is it allows you to fold it over itself, starting to resemble a cone. The more you keep twisting it, the taller and skinnier it gets, and you can do that until it starts to match the diameter of your rocket. Now after all that, can you think of some parameters or items that we can change from rocket to rocket in order to experiment with different styles? Just a few that we thought we could take note of and test out were fin size, rocket height, fin shape, material of the rocket, and fin thickness. So I hope you're excited and starting to get some ideas. But remember, we did say that how you test your rocket is almost as important as how you build it. So be sure to tune into the next video where we're going to teach you just how to do that.